matches to begin. A thousand banners waving in the sky. Here comes our Lazio, the eagle starts to fly.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Lazio Lounge. I'm Vittorio Campanile. Today, luckily for all of you, Alistair McKenzie is not going to be here. He's on holiday. He went to Georgia. I thought he wanted to go to the World Cup and got it wrong, but no. He really wanted to go to Georgia and visit some friends, so he's not watching the World Cup, luckily, even because, Scotland is not there. There are a couple of Lazio players. Luckily, Casares is through to the group phase. Milinkovic is pretty much out. So we're going to talk about everything, and it's a pleasure for me to have, for the first time on the podcast, Alexander Mikkelsen. Alexander, welcome to Lazio Lounge.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you. Hopefully I can be as entertaining as Alistair. We'll see.
Don't worry, that's going to be pretty much easy. So it's not a very difficult task. Don't worry.
Okay, we'll see.
And you're here for a very particular reason, right? Lazio finally made the first deal in this summer transfer and finally signed Durmisi, who's moving from Betis. As we said already in the other podcast, he's a left back who can play in the different position. Experts says he's a perfect fit for the 3-5-2 of Simone Inzaghi. He will play on the left side of the midfield, so he's gonna be in competition with Lukaku and Lulic, even though, there are rumors that Lukaku after this season could leave Lazio. He's not happy. Maybe Inzaghi is not very happy about his performance, etc. So this is one of the reasons why Durmisi here. But, the best thing to talk about Durmisi is to hear what a Denmark Lazio fan thinks about Durmisi, that is Danish, even though his parents are from Albania, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So finally, I got a way into the podcast, so I can be here as well. So, but yeah, it's first time since Christian Keller was in Lazio that there's a Danish player at Lazio. So hopefully he'll give some good experiences and good memories, more than Keller did back in the days.
Well, I remember Michael Laudrup, to be honest with you. So
yeah, that's true.
I was a kid, but I remember when Lazio signed Michael Laudrup, the hype in Rome was amazing. He was considered a big talent, a great player. It was true that Juventus sent it to Lazio on a sort of loan for one season, but we were expecting a lot from him, and he showed it, at time, but wasn't consistent. A little bit like Felipe Anderson of these days, I would compare him.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's true. Yeah.
But the hype was great. It was really high with Michael Laudrup. So let's hope that Durmisi play longer and better.
Yeah, and it gets a bigger impact. Maybe not the same hype. I don't know.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Durmisi. What kind of player is Lazio getting?
Well, definitely we're getting a left wing back. He's from Denmark. He's 24 years old. He played in Brøndby, Danish club cup champions this year, and actually already got a debut on the first team there as 18-year-old. He's also played on the national team, 23 matches, and surprisingly he didn't make it to the World Cup, but I guess we'll talk about that later. And then after 4 seasons at Brøndby, he moved to Betis, where he played more or less the same role as is going to be expected in Lazio. The Betis are used to playing 3-5-2. He's left leg. He's fast. He's not the biggest player in the world. He's 168 centimeters high, but he's good to break through. So I guess that's also he's more of a Lukaku type of player than Lulic, but I think Dormisi is more of a smart player than Lukaku. Lukaku is a one-trick pony. He does the same thing in every match. Where I hope Dormisi can give a bigger aspect to the team. The thing also with Dormisi is he can only play on left back or left wing back. It's not a player like Patrick who can play like more or less all over the place in the defense. I think that
And he's
is
particularly fast, right? One of his top skills
yes.
his pace is great. So let's say Lukaku, it's a little bit more physical, more powerful. Durmisi, it's more the type of small winger that is very fast, and it's, I believe, hard to take the ball off him because he's so fast with his feet that you tend to lose the ball when he has it.
Yes.
We hope he's very good in crossing the ball and putting it in the box, something that Lukaku struggled a little bit this season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that sure of Dormisi's crossing abilities, to be honest. I mean, he played in Betis. He played 54 matches and made 7 assists. So for me, that isn't. I mean, well, I don't know who Betis had as a striker the last couple of seasons, if that's where it is. But I see more Dormisi of a player going into the box a little bit more like Lulic. But I guess that's also what type of tactics Inzaghi is expecting for the next season. Where this season mostly Lulic, of course, and he's also right leg. It was more going into the field and getting close to the box and then delivering the cross. So I'm very curious to see if Inzaghi really wants to use Dormisi's left leg for the season.
Well, one of the problem I thought Lazio had this season is that the box was never full of player.
That's the thing.
We had pretty much Ciro Immobile in, Milinkovic-Savic and Parolo. Those was the only 3 players, because both Felipe Anderson and Luis Alberto are not those type of players that go in the box to receive the assist and score. They're more the type of player who does the assist or try to score outside the box. So when for example, I don't know, Marusic was coming in and putting the ball in the box, it was Milinkovic or Ciro Immobile. The winger from the other side was never or very rarely entering the box to finish the chance. So that could be something that Inzaghi is looking for, that Durmisi could bring to Lazio. So that could be an option, even though I still think we need, in the 3-5-2, you need a wing that is able to go down and put the ball in the box as well. So we're going to see a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know, you agree with me saying that this was a much needed deal for Lazio in the 3-5-2, if we still don't know if Inzaghi is going to continue like this, playing with this tactic, with the 3-5-2. The wingers are fundamental, and I believe that it worked out very well till December. Then in January, with Marusic injury, with Lulic getting a little bit tired, with Lukaku having knee problems, Lazio start playing less as before. They couldn't be able to play at the same level, especially because the wingers didn't play as well as before.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also what I hear you saying is also that the players got tired and got injured going into the second half of the season. I also think that it would have been more healthy for the team to rotate more during the first half of the season. That's also why I hope that having Dormisi on the team, that it not necessarily means that Lukaku moves. Maybe it can mean that Dormisi and Lukaku can have the left wing back, and then Lulic can go in the middle, and on that way they can rely on each other. And then if one gets injured, they can exchange the places out there, because definitely we really need our wing backs, and also the way that Inzaghi uses the wing backs. They really need to have a good physique. They really need to be in form when they play, because they run so much, and they have both. I mean, mostly offensive, but also defensive aspects of their play. So, yeah, I think definitely we'll see a new season with the wingbacks as we've signed Dormisi, and then we'll see how many he needs to use.
Well, especially at the beginning of the season, if you remember, in every match, the two substitution Inzaghi was making at the
Yes.
beginning was the winger, because they run so much that
Yeah.
it's physical that they get tired during the match.
And always after an hour.
Yeah, they run so much that they get tired around 1 hour. The problem is that if you lose Maruzic and Lukaku, then you don't have change to make in that position because you only have two options there, and that's one of the reasons because why Lazio didn't play that well. So I believe that if Durmisi is coming, is still Inzaghi would love to have another option there. So maybe we are not saying that Lukaku is leaving for sure, and so Lukaku could be an option. We saw Lulic playing in the center in the second part of the season. That could be an option for him. I think he brings more the same physicality that Milinkovic has in the middle, so it's very useful. But I think he can still play left or right, so that's a valid option to Inzaghi. Obviously, if Durmisi come in and Lazio sell Lukaku, this means that Lazio will have to buy another left winger because, as we said, Durmisi cannot play all the season alone. And there are rumors that even Basta could be leaving Lazio this summer.
Yes.
He didn't have a great season, to be honest. To be fair, Basta is the type of players that you know what you're getting out of him. It's nothing spectacular, let's put it like that. But at the same time, you know that he's not going to make incredible mistakes. So it's that type of player that probably doesn't help you reaching the Champions League, but for sure, doesn't put you in trouble. But if you want to compete for the Champions League, you need better players.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, definitely. If you want to compete for the Champions League, then that's. I mean, it says a lot that while we were in the fourth spot, that it was Cristante that was almost a done deal. We were looking at keeping Milinkovic-Savic, and maybe also other good type of players. And now after that, Laxalt was up for some weeks. Now that's completely gone, and Cristante is gone to another hopeless club. And now we're talking about, is Basta going anywhere or not? I mean, Basta also. I mean, he is getting older, and as we just talked about, the wing backs they just need so much physicality, and I mean, Basta also has injuries usually. So I mean, he would probably be better in a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 where he doesn't have to run as much. I mean, for me, Basta is. I mean, he's been a great aspect of Lazio, and he scored a great goal in the derby. And now I'll say thanks for playing here, and let's see what we can do with other players in that position.
Yeah, I think Basta was the perfect player for the 3-5-2. Probably he arrived too late to Lazio when he was older,
Yeah, because I think he played the right wing back in Udinese back when we got him. He was more in the box as well. He was more dangerous in Udinese. So I think you're right. I think he's just gotten too old for a footballer.
Well, at least for those type of club, that are competing for a higher level. So again, we're gonna see. I believe Lazio is gonna make some other movement there because it's such a key role for Inzaghi. Now, we are all presuming Inzaghi will keep playing the 3-5-2. With Alistair, we talk often about this. The first season of Inzaghi, one thing I really appreciate of is how he was switching during the match, one match after the other, 4-3-3, 3-5-2, and so on. And I thought that created a lot of confusion to the other teams because they didn't know what expect. Even if Lazio was playing with the same 11, Lazio could switch from a 3-5-2 to a 4-3-3 and so on. While last season, you already know, okay, Lazio is playing with a 3-5-1-1, and you can prepare all week long for that. What's your thought? Were you surprised? Do you think there's a reason and it's a valid point to continue playing with the same tactic, or Inzaghi got a little bit too rigid?
I mean, I think Inzaghi at Auronzo last year at the summer camp, I think he made up his decision and said, okay, I want to go with stability. I want to go with one tactic that I know that everybody when he wakes them up in the middle of the night, they know what to do. I think, and I also think he mentioned that last year in the beginning of the season that the players were too confused during the matches when he would go like, okay, now we're going from 3-5-1-1, now we're going to a 4-3-3 for the last 30 minutes, and it really does make sense. And I mean, there were so many defensive mistakes last season that I don't think maybe it's just how Lazio plays. It is really dynamic. There are a lot of players that has a lot of different roles during the match. So I mean, I think it's good to have a tactic that everybody knows, but definitely at the end of last season, the teams knew how to approach Inzaghi's Lazio. And you also heard, I can't remember which team, but they also said that during the season that some of the other teams they knew how to defend against Lazio. I think it was against Cagliari. Correct me if I'm wrong. So definitely it would make sense to think that Inzaghi would try to develop a little bit more tactical fluidity during the matches, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure he's sticking with the 3-5-1-1 because I mean, also to be honest, we failed in the important matches in the Coppa Italia semifinal, Salzburg and Inter, but other than that, we had some successful matches with the tactics. So
One thing,
yeah.
one thing Inzaghi said about that is that with the Europe League, he didn't have too much time to prepare.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a valid reason. But then I think about Juventus, for example, who was switching even though they were playing Champions League, and he said, continue with the same type of tactic, the 3-5-2. I give the defenders. They don't have to change movement, so they get it automatically. But how many errors, how many mistakes did Lazio defender did this season? So probably even more than last year. So for me, this tells me it's not a tactic, a thing that changes too many times. The starting 11, the formation, etc. It's simply that those players make mental mistakes too often. And
that makes sense as well. I mean, yeah, but that's also a really good point or a good area you're bringing up there, because it's also like with all these mistakes, do you as a coach, do you actually go in and try to improve them? Do you try to make them better, or do you say, okay, let's take you out of the team. We'll go with some players who maybe not are better but knows how to do the tactics. For example, I think it's a really, really good thing that Luis Felipe, he got so many minutes, but when he started to use him, it wasn't necessarily better than Bastos or Wallace. I mean, he was very promising, but he's young. He makes mistakes. Would have been smarter for Inzaghi to just go full on Bastos and Wallace and give them some confidence, give them some more time on the pitch. I mean, that's what I think is a really interesting area, and where I think Inzaghi said, okay, we're going to go for the tactics. We're going to go there where we know things are right, more than trying to develop the players who make the individual mistakes.
For me, the biggest question mark was why suddenly Wallace was in front of Bastos. Felipe Luis was the first choice most often, and I thought the Brazilian deserved to be the starter because he played much better than the others. But honestly, I thought Bastos had a pretty decent season, much better than Wallace, and suddenly he fell in third place, which was surprising. So on the other side, Radu had an incredible season, but I thought Cáceres could have more time. You see, he's a starter in the Uruguay national team, and he's playing really, really well. So that was curious. Maybe this season, starting from September, August, maybe Cáceres can be one of the starters. We're gonna see, but yeah, I wasn't not that often convinced by Inzaghi's decision when talking about defenders.
Yeah, I was really surprised with Cáceres not getting more time on the field. I mean, he got the injury back was in February,
Yeah.
and then he never really came back. Although they said that he was okay and he got called up and stuff like that, and so I'm really intrigued to see what's with him for next season. I'm expecting him to play more often, definitely. But I also think that we definitely need a left-legged defender other than Radu. It was obvious this season that when Radu wasn't playing left back in the defense, we needed some. We were lacking some stuff on the left side.
Yeah, I was surprised honestly by the season of Stefan Radu. He was great.
Yes.
I think the last two was probably the best season of Radu. And I don't know if it's to give credit to Simone Inzaghi or the experience Radu has, but
I think himself. I remember he said during the start of last season, he said that he knows more of his of what he can do physically. I mean, he's stronger. He knows how much to train. I think when he was younger, he overtrained too much. His muscles was too tired, and he always got injuries. Now he knows more where his limits are. And also, I think last season was the season where he had the most appearances for Lazio in one season, which is really good. And I'm expecting him soon to really become. I mean, he already is a bandiera for me. I'm surprised he said no to the captain's armband. I'm pretty sure in a couple of seasons he'll really become one of the legends more than he is now.
Well, we have to see if he retires in a couple of seasons. I mean, he's not that young. But yes, he had a terrific season. But I believe all Lazio fans will agree that you need to give a little bit of rest to Radu next season and find a replacement that is valid. You know, that when Radu is out, you have the same level of quality there because it's a key role. And I think that switching from a 4-line defense to a 3 help Radu. That it's perfect,
definitely
perfect for that role.
Yes.
One of the biggest rumors of this week, I think, was the manager, the agent of Wallace. How do we say it? I don't know if the pronounce of Wesley. Sorry.
Wesley. Yeah.
Paul Nemi, I think it's pronounced, said that
Yeah.
he has a deal with Lazio, and so Wesley will play for Lazio. This was a little bit surprising, but I think that makes a lot of sense, and it is a very good signing for Lazio. What do you think?
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't follow the Belgian league, so I have no idea. But I mean, the characteristic I can read of him, I agree with you. It does make sense. He's younger. He wants to do something at a bigger club, so it really makes sense. And I mean, he doesn't come to Lazio with the same baggage as Caicedo. Caicedo came to the club and where he didn't really break through in Espanyol. He had a lot of matches with no goals and stuff like that. So I don't think really people were expecting that much of him. Like they were already when he started, they were like, okay, we'll see how this goes. Where it's more optimistic with a younger player. Although I have no idea who he is. I mean, but we see this really often with Lazio. We buy these players we have no clue about. I mean, even Milinkovic Savic, before he came, some good YouTube videos and he was promising, but to become the player he is now is insane.
Well, he was considered one of the biggest talent of the Serbia under-21. But how often do we read about the biggest talent of the under-21 or of this national team of the other, and then he comes maybe to a bigger league and doesn't do nothing? So, it happened often. Let's think about Kishna. When Lazio signed Kishna, I got a lot of friends from a lot of journalists from Netherlands saying, hey, his talent is simply amazing. Maybe he's too young to move to a bigger club. Maybe he should stay in Netherlands a little bit longer to make experience, etc. But his talent is great, and he started well with Lazio, and then he stopped improving.
And then he made crazy haircuts.
I think what I said about Kishna is when he stopped playing freestyler and start playing football, he's gonna be great. But he start making all those tricks and things like that that are only to show his talent and not to win matches. So, but we have to say that Tare, I believe he knows very well the Belgium league, because he's not the first signing he makes from Belgium, and this type of player looks to be the perfect fit for Lazio. He's a central striker. He's physical. He's big, so a little bit different from Ciro Immobile. Can play near Ciro Immobile. Can play instead of Ciro Immobile, and he could be that type of player that can give a rest to Ciro Immobile and doesn't make the team struggle like Caicedo did in the last matches. So that would be a very good signing again with Lazio. And you said it before with Laxalt. You never know if Lazio is signing the player till they officially announce it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we remember even Repubblica 1 month ago or 1 month and a half ago said that Cristante signed, Lazio make the and then we see how it finished. And this is not the only case, Laxalt, it seemed done a couple of weeks ago. Now it's disappeared. So I think that Laxalt could come back if Lazio sell Lukaku, but with Durmisi, I don't think that Lazio will buy even Laxalt. But so it's good to hear this type of player linked to Lazio, but till you don't see the official announcement, then don't believe it.
But to be honest, I'm pretty sure if we made the Champions League, we wouldn't be rumored to a 21-year-old from the Belgian league. Then I'm pretty sure that we would have gone for a player which maybe already was of already made his impact in maybe in Serie A or another league. I mean that's what I mentioned before. I think really that this Champions League that we missed out on that the next season. Change some radical plans for the team, for what they had in plans for the next season. I think you can see it pretty much in the news sites and stuff like that. Also, why are we getting Sprocati from Serie B? I mean, is he coming to offload Di Gennaro, or is he actually just coming and loaning out again? I don't know. It's been a weird transfer market this far for Lazio, to be honest.
Yes, and Sprocati, it's a little bit a question mark. Now you have to remember that from next season, Lazio has to have 8 players coming from Italy. 4 developing from Lazio Primavera, and other 4 developing from other Italian clubs. So, like last season, we kept Crecco, who hardly play. He was there for that reason. Sporcati, maybe, I'm not saying that's the only reason, he's coming that for this. It looks like he's going to go to Abronso, but maybe he's just going to be on trial while Lazio find him a place somewhere else. We don't know about that. But let's see the positive side. When this happened about Felipe Luis, we were all making jokes. He didn't play in the Salernitana, now he's coming to Lazio, and then see what happens. So Tare is quite good about these things. But what I want to say is this is probably the first summer where Lazio has a lot of money to spend. We said that Lazio has a budget of 40 million euros around without selling any players. Yeah. And this summer, really, I would love to see Lazio using this money, not only wisely, but spend all the money they have. Because I think the gap between Lazio and the top 3 is not that big. But, if you buy Sporcati, I don't think you're getting there. You need to buy quality player. Durmisi can be a valid option, a good and cheap option, I believe so. A little bit like Wesley. But at the same time, you have to buy more these type of players and maybe a big name to make the fans happy. And this season you don't have excuse if you get what I mean. You have all that money to spend. I hope to see it used.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I've never, I mean, under Lotito, I think it's really very few transfer markets where we've actually seen Lotito and Tari like really using a lot of money. It's always these well documented transfer sums and stuff like that. And I'm curious to see, because I'm wondering the same as you, like why haven't we been more active? I mean, I'm wondering if the plus we had from last season's transfer market, if we're gonna, are they thinking of using the money somewhere else? I mean, are they using it for better staff, something for merchandise, or either upgrade of Olympico, or I mean, it's not ours, but I mean, or if some other stuff like that. Because I mean, it's really interesting that it's like. It's really like we're first gonna use money when we sell Felipe Anderson or maybe Milinkovic Savic, because as I mean, we didn't even use the money from last summer this winter. We got Cáceres, which was already a done deal beforehand.
Pretty much Lazio still have to spend the money they got from Keita.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah,
So Lazio has that pot. They got rid of Djordjevic, who was a big salary, Marchetti as well.
Yeah.
So there is a big budget. And this, I repeat, is the first season, the first summer that Lazio has all that money to spend. So I hope that Lazio will spend it. Then this brings me to another discussion. I don't know if even outside Italy these rumors pop up. There have been this rumor about if Lazio sell Milinkovic-Savic to 150, what else happened? Lotito is going to use pretty much all that money to pay the debts with the Italian state, which honestly doesn't make no sense, because Lazio has this rate that it's like 1% of interest, which is amazing. It's great,
definitely.
and doesn't make any sense at all that Lazio put the money of Milinkovic and pay all the debt they have.
Yeah, because when is it now set to be paid? The debt, I can't remember.
I think they're like 10 years still to get
Yeah,
paid.
exactly.
So
yeah, that's also what I think. Yeah,
it's not that much, but simply what happened? One of Mediaset journalists said, was asked, do you think that Lotito is going to reinvest all that money? And he said, no, I think they're going to use that money to pay the debts and maybe increase Formello, things like that.
Yeah.
And from this, it get reported from other media, and suddenly become Lotito have decided, Lotito have decided he's going to use that money of Milinkovic to pay increase Formello and so on, which doesn't make sense at all. So don't believe it, because it's not going to happen. It doesn't make sense. 1% of rate of interest is amazing. If you get a mortgage, you will never get something like that. So, and after today's, the rumor was so huge that the lawyer of Lotito had to pop out and said, I heard these rumors, it doesn't make completely no sense at all. Lotito will never use it. He never asked me about that, so trust me, it's not going to happen. But
that would also be be really unclassic Lotito, because that would be really surprising if they pay back the debt in one move. Also because definitely we need to upgrade the quality if we get rid of Milinkovic Savic. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense at all. It's not that okay, now we are free. We can. The debt is so small that it doesn't change anything in the policy, in the way Lazio is doing transfer market.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I don't know if you all over Lazio fan all over the world read these rumors. It's completely fake. Don't believe it. It's not going to happen. We don't even know if
you heard it here first.
yeah. I'm not even sure that Milinkovic Savic is going to be sold this summer. Now, it's funny because in Italy, a lot of newspaper like Gazzetta is convinced that he's going to go to Juventus. They don't even put in a question mark. But a lot of football agents that know things a little bit better said Juventus at the moment hasn't got the money to buy Milinkovic Savic. There are, in the world, the 3 clubs that can do it: Real Madrid, Manchester United, and Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
These are probably the only club that have enough money to put on the table to convince Claudio Lotito to sell Milinkovic-Savic.
And also, it's also a really, I mean, if Juventus really wants to do this and they go the whole media way and try to convince everybody that he's going to Juventus, I mean, do they really want to be treated the same way as last year with Keita? I mean, that was also a done deal the whole summer, and then boop, it was Monaco. So I mean, yeah, I don't think Juventus wants to go that strongly with Lazio with negotiating.
And it's been funny because suddenly Juventus players have increased or doubled their value, you know. Okay, we're giving you 50 million euros plus Rugani that suddenly is 55 million euros, you know. And another bench player who suddenly is other 50 and it's done, you know. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
this is the rumors we're getting in Italy, Italian newspaper. You know, I don't believe Milinkovic-Savic is going to Juventus. This doesn't mean he's staying at Lazio for sure. I think it all depends on Real Madrid. If Real Madrid comes to Rome with the money that Lotito wants, I think Milinkovic can go.
I also think a really good thing to put into this is also the way Milinkovic-Savic thinks of himself in Lazio, because I mean definitely someday he'll go to another club, but I mean it's him on the social media. It's almost like he's a Laziale. So I mean he's really using the Lazio colors, and he really acts like he loves the club. So I mean, also maybe he can say, okay, maybe 1 year more at Lazio, that's good for me. I like staying here. I like the city. I like my colleagues and stuff like that. So I think that's also a very, very important part of talking the whole Milinkovic-Savic saga, because I'm pretty sure that if Madrid came with what are they talking, 150 million euros, I think Lazio are ready to sell.
Yeah, they're talking 150 plus a 20% of bonus for Lazio. But
That's crazy.
as you were saying, even the agent didn't say no, we are leaving. We want Manchester, which is in a certain way weird, because we remember Keita agent 1 year before was already saying no, he's leaving, he's going, etc., etc.
Yeah, that was
agent as well.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And I think Milinkovic is smart enough to know that 1 year at Lazio would only help him develop and becoming more the type of player. Plus, I think he's enjoying it. You know, playing for Lazio, Roma when things are going well, like in the last 2 seasons, is pretty much fun.
Yeah. Then you have the fans with you.
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
It's good to be in Rome.
You know, when the season is bad, it's completely different. But
Yeah.
when the season is going well, you know, it's great to be playing for Lazio. So I think he's enjoying it, and he knows that sooner or later he's going to go in a big club. Maybe it's not this year. Lazio still have a couple of years left of his contract, so Lotito can keep him this season and sell him next summer. We don't know.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the big issue as well. I mean, I remember Lotito saying last summer, like, we've learned from our past mistakes. We have to sell our players when they're on the rising. What if Milinkovic-Savic comes back from the World Cup? He's tired, he's demotivated, and he just has a catastrophic season, and then his value goes down back to whatever 50-70 million euros. Then we sell him for that next summer. That would also be something to. So it's all these discussions. I hope they're taking really serious at Formula.
Yeah, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, and I'm saying this thing, and I've been saying this in the last 2-3 years. Milinkovic-Savic is going to be the best midfielder in Europe. Full stop. I'm completely buy out. I'm convinced about this. Even better than Pogba. So I don't think he's going to be able to have a bad season, especially with Lazio playing around him and with Simone Inzaghi trying to put the formation to make him shine, because this is what's happening. So maybe he can be tired a little bit after the World Cup, even though Serbia's nearly out. So he's not going to have a long working summer. So, I think next season he's going to be even better. Obviously, if Lazio doesn't reach the Champions League next season, I think he's going to leave. That's pretty much obvious.
Yeah,
But again,
I agree.
if you sell Milinkovic-Savic, you have to find a replacement. And saying that De Vrij is already out, Felipe Anderson, and we're going to talk about this after, it looks like he wants to leave. If you sell even Milinkovic-Savic, then you're rebuilding a team.
Yeah, definitely. But maybe this is also the time to rebuild the team. I mean, I'm really hoping that Inzaghi uses some time on having a mental coach for Alonso, because I mean the Coppa Italia semifinal, the Salzburg, which was incredible what happened when Salzburg scored those 4 goals, and also against Inter. I mean, there are all these. It's almost the same. I mean, not against Milan in the semifinal because there was no goals, but I mean, it's the team really has some mental issues there, I think. So maybe this is the time for some of those players who isn't committing themselves 100% to do this. And if a player like Felipe Anderson isn't 100%, then I support him being sold, especially if we get 40 million euros. But that's how it does when you sell to Premier League. De Vrij, he was also on the way out. I mean, so maybe it's a good time to do it.
Well, as I said about Felipe Anderson, he has incredible talent. But after 5 years of Lazio, you know what you're getting out of him. He's going to be incredible for a couple of matches and then disappear for others and turn on and turn off in some matches. But in the key one, he hardly shine. And
yes,
if I have to choose between him and Luis Alberto, I think in a key match like the one against Inter, I would have put Luis Alberto if he wasn't injured. So I think maybe it's better for both Lazio and the player to leave.
Yes,
obviously,
definitely.
40 million euros would be great. It's very hard to deal with Lotito. He's gonna get a great deal out of them if he's gonna sell him. Again, Lazio is in a good situation. They don't have to sell him. But I think, as we said, this is the right moment to sell him. Again, if you sell Felipe Anderson, then you not need to buy another trequartista. We've been talking with Alistair, I think it was in the latest episode, about Pedro Neto. He's considered a rising star, a big talent.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe he can be the player that can play behind the Luis Alberto and maybe gain confidence, etc., and then became a great player.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we invested a lot of money in him and Bruno Jordão. I mean, but I think I saw somewhere that they're expecting more of Bruno Jordão now that he's closer to actually making an impact on the first team after this year at the Primavera. But I think he's also 1 or 2 years older than Pedro Neto. But yeah, definitely Pedro Neto. I mean, they made a 2-year loan deal, so definitely they're using both years. So maybe the first year was making him accustomed to Rome, to the whole Italian part of it. And this season he's going to get his breakthrough. He can be the big joker. He can be this season's Luis Felipe, I guess.
Yeah, we're talking about 2 players that are considered the best talent in Portugal, which it's a small nation, very small nation, but about football talent, it's huge. It's incredible. They never had a great striker, a great central forward, but of this talented player, they had a lot of them. And so we hope, especially because Pedro Neto is Bruno Jordão, sorry, it's in the Portugal under-21 team. He's a starter there, and he played a lot of matches there. So there could be two valid points. My problem is if Inzaghi or Iglitari comes out and say, okay, we're selling Felipe Anderson, Pedro Neto, Bruno Jordão are the replacement, fans are not going to be very happy.
No, I agree. That would also be too big of a risk. I mean, we were so close at going to even the top 3 this season. We really need to go on this momentum and really need to invest in the squad, or more, let's say another. We need to invest in Inzaghi. We need to show him that we trust him and we trust his project, because he's a real star of this team. He's been in Lazio for so many years, and now he's achieving something as a coach. And so yeah, I agree. Bruno Jordao and Pedro Neto, they're jokers, but I would definitely not put my money on them being key players if we talk together in a year again.
The problem is, with these youngsters, you have to give them the chance. So you already have Luis Alberto that hopefully he's going to stay. I don't believe Lazio is going to sell him. If you bring another quality player there, then chances of seeing Bruno Jordao or Pedro Neto playing are slim. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. But also when we had the Coppa Italia match against Cittadella, I mean, why didn't we use Guerrieri there? Why didn't we use some of those players who were close on? I mean, who definitely wouldn't play. Maybe I mean we did it with Micheli in the Europa League. I like that. That was a boost of confidence. Now he's not staying here for next season. But I mean that's the type of ways to treat your youngsters that I like, and I don't think they got that many chances this season. That also has to be mentally hard to play in a level Serie A club and not get those small glimpses of hope for getting a first team job. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how that works for next season.
Yeah, the problem is you have Luis Nani, for example. And so, if you start Pedro Neto, let's say, and not Luis Nani, then that's not going to be well accepted by the locker room, especially Nani and things like that. So, Micheli was a little bit different. I think, he was in the B list as Lazio Primavera and things like that. So, I don't know. Obviously you have to think Lazio spent so much money on them that they are highly considered and very good players.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you sell Felipe Anderson and you invest those 40 million euros, I don't know, in a replacement for Parolo, that's fine. Probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. The thing is, I think that if we sell or when we sell Felipe Anderson, I don't know how far they are there now, but we're probably going to get a replacement that we probably don't really know yet, because I mean it's a classic Tade trick to doing this, like boop, then we got a new player out of. There's been no rumors, just went to the controller Paideia, just got the official signing, stuff like that. So that I'm looking forward to that. So there isn't all these long transfer discussions like Acerbi and so on. So just get the deals done without us knowing.
Yeah, because as I try to explain to our listener, Lotito and Tare are very different from the other sport director or president of other Italian clubs. They don't use other agent, so they go straight to the agent of that player, and so the rumors doesn't spread because you're not asking other agent to go there and start the deal and so on. So that's why Di Marzio and so on often doesn't have the scoop or the news, the exclusive of Lazio signing. While, for example, Inter go with Vincenzo Morabito when they have to sell players in UK or buy players in UK. So, a lot of journalists know this before. So this is why Lazio is different. And this is why when you hear a lot of rumors, I don't want to say 95% of the time, but 75% of the time they're fake. They're simply saying, okay, Lazio need a striker. Let's see who's available or who could move to Rome. This player, okay, so that is looking, which is completely fake, So, for example, we've been talking about Laxalt a lot, but from Genoa, we heard all the time saying that Lazio is interested but never made an offer.
Yeah.
So maybe it's true, maybe Lazio never made an offer for Laxalt. You just keep an eye on if Lazio couldn't complete the Durmisi deal, then maybe they would turn to Laxalt. But for some newspaper, it was a done deal, So you have to consider this when you're reading rumors about Lazio.
Yeah, definitely.
It's completely different. So we've been talking about a lot of deals of player leaving. This week as well, there has been a big rumor of Gomez, Papu Gomez.
Yeah.
Di Marzio said that Lazio has already the agreement with the player, but not with the club, and that Atalanta wants more than 10 million euros, while Lazio would love to spend less. So that's why the deal is on hold. What do you think about Papu Gomez?
I think he's a really good player, and definitely he can lift a lot on a team. But I mean he's 30 years old. There's not that much of a future in him. I'm not sure if there's going to invest in him, then do it for 1 or 2 seasons. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's the right signing for us. I'm pretty surprised that we're going for him. Maybe I'm more surprised because that's not the typical Lazio deal to get an established player from another team in Serie A. But I mean, definitely the thing is we know with Papu Gomez is that if he arrives, then we know he has quality from the first minute. I'm not sure how long this will last. So yeah, we'll see. I have to be convinced seeing him on the field if he changes to Lazio. If he does, I'm expecting a 2-year deal, and I don't know if that's pretty good for him. I'm afraid he's going to be one of those players. If we do a 5-year deal, which is Lotito's usual thing, if he gets a 5-year deal, the last year or two, he'll just end up training by himself somewhere because we need something else at that time.
I think the positive thing of Gomez is he knows very well Serie A, which is a great value considering, Maruzic had to adapt to Serie A, and so will happen for all the players coming from abroad. So that's for sure a good thing. He's shown his talent and that he's able to play at a big level with Serie A. As you said, he's 30 years old, so I still believe he has 3 probably years at high level still in front of him.
Yeah.
But, maybe it would have been perfect to buy him 2 years ago, not now.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, like when we got Immobile, I mean, he was even younger. But I mean, players who are around 26 to 28 years old, I think that's what we should go for at the moment if we really want to develop and create a core of a new team.
Immobile is a little bit different. But as you were saying, you need to get at that age the player, because you know that the next year he has in front are gonna be the best of his career. So I'm a little bit. I think it's gonna depend on how much, if Lazio is gonna strike the deal, how much Lazio is gonna pay for Papu Gomez. I'm not sure. 50 million euros for me it's way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably the first year is going to be great, and we're going to say, okay, 15 million euros, it's worthy. But, what happened if the second year he has a drop, the third year?
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that's what I think as well.
It's
a big risk.
It's even true that if you think that Pedro Neto and Bruno Jordao are going to be quality players, that maybe a player like Gomez is going to be perfect because he's going to be the starter next year, and maybe the Portuguese will play a little bit, and then in 2 years' time, they're going to be the starter, and Papu Gomez will come in during the match. I don't know. That could be an option. But we're going to see, because Atalanta doesn't want to sell him. They ask a lot of money. When there's a lot of money involved, you know that Lotito's not happy. So you don't know how things are going to turn out.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, the thing is, Lazio, I believe, need to buy some quality players that are already in Serie A. They need it for the rules because, as we said, Lazio need 8 players that have been trained in Italy, and they need it because so you don't have that time that the players takes to adapt to Italian football.
Yeah, that's true. That's also a really good point with the whole adaptation of Italian football, which I mean, We saw it with Luis Alberto. It took a year. Milinkovic-Savic, he was also young. So I mean, it is definitely something you have to have in your consideration. So and only like Leva, he did what others usually doesn't do. He came in like from the first minute and was fundamental for the team. But we definitely need to get people or players who know the system and know how Serie A works. You hear it all the time when players arrive at a Serie A club. Everything is so tactically. Everything is so so
Different.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So different. Yeah.
But for example, even with Leva, he started well, but after a couple of months, 3-4 months, he played much better. He was more a complete player. So even he had to a little bit adapt. Probably that's even because he didn't play that much the season before. But when you're fighting for at the end, if Lazio would have won against Spal the first match of the season, we would have been in Champions League.
Yeah. And if we got the 3 points against Crotone, there were so many.
Yeah, but
so many
against Spal, we played with Palombi. We didn't
Yeah.
have Leva, so
Oh, I see your point. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna see. I hope next week Lazio is gonna make some other signing because other teams.
And also because Alonso Di Cottore is getting is closer. I think it's what 15th of July. So we really need to get some deals done. I mean, Dormisi we'll see how that works out. But I mean, if he's the only player, I mean, it's gonna be tough for Inzaghi.
Yeah. Even because it's important because at Alonso you can test the youngest player, like Sprocati. But I'm thinking about Palombi. I'm thinking about maybe Tuncarà or Binala, all those type of youngster that could have some time there and prove they are worthy, but at the same time give Inzaghi the option to try different things. Not only maybe switching from a 3-5-2 to something else, but even try different tactics or different solution. Let's not forget that in Auronzo last year he tried Luis Alberto instead of Biglia, so he can change position and see if players can play in different position, which is really important. And that's the perfect time because you don't have nothing to lose. It's only friendly match there, so it's a good time. So we hope that next week Lazio is gonna start to sign some more players.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Lazio arrived fifth, but we know that there are glaring need for this team. Let's be honest. And so Lazio need to buy those type of player. I don't know if Acerbi is going to come, but Lazio need a quality replacement for De Vrij.
Yes.
A replacement for Immobile, someone who give a little bit of rest of Immobile. Wingers, maybe a player instead of Parolo who's getting older to give him a little bit of break for Lucas Leiva and so on. So, there are a lot of players that Lazio need to buy. So time is running out. This transfer summer is ending before last year. So Lazio has less time than last year, so they have to hurry up.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting.
Before closing this lovely episode, Alexander, explain me why you become a Lazio fan.
Why did I become a Lazio fan? That's a really good question. But it's actually when I tell the story, it's a really good one. When I was a kid, I lived in Rome with my family, and because working at the Danish embassy, my mom did, and had a nanny from Denmark. She had a boyfriend who came by the house all the time, and he was a Laziale, and I think they were in the around 20 years old, and I was 8-9 years old, and I thought they were cool. So then they brought me to the stadium. So actually, one of my first matches was Lazio Sampdoria, where Mihailovic made the hat trick on the free kick. So I was a young kid back then, and ever since when we came back to Denmark, followed the team. I found the first years you couldn't really really see the matches that much because Serie A wasn't on national TV, so I was always on the teletext. So I was really happy when when the internet came and you could stream the matches. And then I was been part of the Danish Lazio community since I think 2005. And now administrating the website and the fan base today. I've also been part of the what now is the Lazioland community for the last 15 years. Enjoying talking to other Laziale there. Been to Rome with Lazioland to watch the derby several times. So I've been with Lazio since the beginning, and it's difficult to get rid of again. I don't think it ever will.
I was there as well in Lazio Sampdoria.
Oh,
I was in
really?
Curva Nord. Yeah,
Cool.
when Milinkovic scored a hat trick on the free kick. I think the
You mean Mihailovic? That would have been a really young Milinkovic.
no Mialovic. Sorry, I think the first one was deflected by the wall a little bit, and then surprised Ferron, that was the goalkeeper. But the other two were better. Great memory, great team. Wow, so you got it under your skin, eh? You're a Lazio fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and in my sabbatical years between high school and university, I came down to Rome and stayed for 3 months to follow Lazio. Back in, that must have been around 2010. And that was really cool as well to follow them. I was at San Siro and I was in Bologna, Cagliari, following the team. So it's I've really used a lot of time following Lazio, to be honest.
Is it big, the community of Danish Lazio fan?
It's sort of, the thing is that I mean, Denmark is a really small country, but although it is that, the Danish Lazio fans are spread out in the three big cities, mostly around Aarhus, Odense, and Copenhagen. We've had some gatherings. It's been some time now since we've had the latest gathering, but we have the website where we chat from time to time. We have the Facebook page, so that's mainly, I think, well, with the whole social media thing, and you can follow the news of Lazio from different places. It's been more difficult to create to withhold the Lazio community on the Lazio website, but we're still maintaining it, having it, so people they have a safe base if they want to talk about Lazio. It's also where I got all the good points about Dormisi. Was one of the colleagues from there, Oliver, who made a long list for me so I could bring to the podcast. So yeah, we're helping each other out and helping each other also when we have the bad matches and also the good matches.
Yeah, that helps a lot, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's also what I'm so impressed with you guys here at Lazio Lounge. You're always having the podcast after also a heavy defeat where you just want to go to bed. It's pretty cool. You stick with the talk after the match principle.
I have to say that it's very hard. Often I was writing to others and say, "Do we really have to do it today?" But I have to do it. I have to say that, talking after those type of matches help you. I think I wouldn't be able to sleep after a bad defeat. But
it's a therapy.
Yeah, it's a therapy. Talking with to you guys during Lazio Lounge, maybe replying to questions and things like that, helps me a little bit take it off the chest. And it's especially you were talking someone of our worst defeat. It's so disappointing. It's so bad that you really need to take it off the chest before going to sleep, and maybe we are useful for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. You should put it on on your curriculum, anti-stress program, meditation program.
Yeah, we will do it. Alexander, thank you very much for joining me. Hi Stefano, who just wrote us from on Spreaker. Hi Alex and Vittorio from Stefano, based in Vienna. Hi Stefano. I don't know if you're I don't know if you're Italian moved to Vienna, but we are happy if you're listening to our podcast. We are talking about Lazio, and we're gonna be back next week.
Stefano was with me in Copenhagen. We watched a lot of matches together. So hi to you, Stefano. Miss you in Copenhagen.
Has he moved to Vienna in Austria, or he's coming back?
Yeah. He's moved to Vienna. He's a world type of man. He goes all over the place.
Okay.
So I hope there are other Laziali there.
Well, he can start a group there and promote
Yeah,
Lazio
exactly.
Lounge as well.
Yeah.
Alexander, thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, you're more than welcome to come back again. Maybe can we sign Eriksen?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, with the Milinkovic money, maybe we'll see. I'll see if I can text something to him in Danish if that helps.
Do you think he's gonna be a good signing?
Oh, definitely. I think that would be a good signing.
Yeah, it would be a great signing. Unfortunately, do you think it's gonna happen?
Oh no, I don't. No, definitely not.
Well, with Milinkovic money, maybe we're gonna be.
Next year, maybe. Hopefully, we're more attractive at that time.
But he's a great player. I love him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna be. I don't know. Do you think he can play with Luis Alberto?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I think so. He can play in. I think he could play in the Milinkovic-Savic role. The thing is, if we make a swap with those two, we need definitely some more physical. Because I mean, he's not good in the aerial duels. He is he's a feet by the ball by the feet kind of guy. Well,
Yeah.
that's Inzaghi. That's Inzaghi's part. We'll leave that to him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're gonna buy another Danish player, you're gonna be called again. But
Yeah. Or when Durmisi makes a good goal.
yeah, absolutely. Well, we are joking, obviously. You're more than welcome whenever you want.
Yeah,
You're much
thank you.
better than Alistair, so you're welcome. I think we
I'd
can.
like to speak to him.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Sure.
I think we can wrap it up here. Remember, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. If you want to become membership of Lazio Lounge and support us, we really appreciate. And you can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, and of course on Spreaker, on iTunes, where you can download our podcast. Alexander, thank you very much. Bye,
Thank you very
everybody.
much. It
Thanks
was a
for
pleasure.
listening, and Forza Lazio.
Bye.